Hi, welcome to Decoded. We are in our offices once again. If you've seen our last few episodes, we were kind of all over the world. My name is Eliza. I am the community manager for developers in North America. Joining me is my colleague, Cecilia.
Hello, I am Cecilia. I am a lead developer advocate on our advocacy team here at OutSystems.
So welcome everyone to another episode. This one, you probably could tell by joining us on YouTube. We are not live this time. We are recording it. We wanted to give ourselves a little bit of an easier time for mid-December now. So because we're not live, we don't have the chat, but we do have comments. And what I've promised both our community here and our panelists is that we will be monitoring the comments and adding responses if you want to say directly to one of our panelists, directly to one of us. If you have just a general question, leave it in the comments and we'll get to you as soon as we can. So with that, let's get into the episode. I first want to talk a little bit about Decoded. So if it's your first time joining us, this is a series for developers, featuring developers of OutSystems. This year, we have had 8 episodes. This is sort of our ninth.
Quite a few, yes.
Yeah. So our main sort of series is live normally. We had 3 of those. We had DevSecOps, all about AI, and on the screen there, our 3rd episode that was live was integrations. Then we had 3 pre-recorded episodes in the form of Decoded Road to One, which was less panel, more presentation style on future-proof development, testing, and load testing. And finally, one 10-hour, 2-day marathon stream with Decoded live from One, which was in Amsterdam at One, on a little balcony right above all the commotion. We interviewed One speakers, OutSystems MVPs, champions, partners, attendees, and OutSystems team members, including our CEO, Paulo Rosado. Cecilia did a ton of work to add little chapters into those 10 hours. So if you're not interested in watching all 10 hours over your Christmas break, you can see exactly what interview you want to see if you go to those links. But if you're already watching us here, you can just go to the OutSystems account and you can see all of our videos.
Yeah, and it was a great year for Decoded. We did so many things, talked to so many people, and it's really fun to look back and see all of the great topics that we talked about and the things that were discussed. And so I hope that you are able to go watch those videos and enjoy them and learn and find out more about our awesome community. And kind of in reflecting back to this year, Eliza, I'd like to kind of ask you, what was your favorite moment in Decoded from 2024?
Sure. I think it's 2 moments for me. One is that first moment we went live ever with our first episode. I was terrified and I immediately felt like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's do it. And then the exact same thing happened for Decoded Live from One. Because we had lots of studio lights for that one. And it was a little scarier, but it was really exciting to just get to talk to people and get their thoughts out there as part of the panels. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think obviously Decoded Live from One was such an amazing experience and it was such a unique experience. And so it's hard to just pick one moment from that specifically, but I think honestly, for me, it was seen in the chat, all of the comments from people watching all over the world. I think one of the things that we want to do here with Decoded is really create things for the global community, right? People joining from all over the place, and to be able to see that was working really well in terms of people feeling engaged and excited about One and everything that was happening with OutSystems. That was really exciting. So a lot to celebrate from the past year and a lot to look forward to in 2025 as well. I know this time of year, I like to reflect on what I want to do for the next year, what my goals are, maybe make a few New Year's resolutions. And so I have a New Year's resolution in 2025 to build more things with, I've learned a lot about OutSystems in the past year that I've been here and have gotten hands-on with a lot of different trainings and examples, but I want to do more. I want to start building a lot more projects and everything in OutSystems. There's so many cool features I haven't been able to really dig into yet. And so that is my New Year's resolution, developer New Year's resolution for OutSystems in 2025. Eliza, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yes, I think this was probably my New Year's resolution last year too, but it's just to meet more of our developer community in person, and I will be doing that. I have seen at least tentatively 4 pretty big events in the US for developers. We are also going to try to launch 5 new user groups. So if you are in North America, expect some emails from me. I'm gonna meet a lot of you, and then
Nice.
one next year back in Europe. I'm so excited to see even more people. Hopefully, I will not be behind a desk recording a live stream the whole time.
Well, I'm always excited to get an email from you, Eliza. So I look forward to that for next year. So, all right. Well, should we dig in?
Let's do it. So we have one more decoded gift to unwrap this year, and you are watching it right now. It's our final episode for the year, an episode dedicated to Mentor, the first SDLC digital worker, transforming app generation, delivery, and monitoring using low-code, Gen AI, and AI-driven guidance. To talk more about Mentor, we have OutSystems' own David Gilkey and OutSystems MVP João Pereira. Welcome.
Welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourselves?
Good.
Nice.
And you guys?
So I'm going to start with having you both introduce yourselves. David, why don't you go first?
Yeah, sure. David Gilkey. I lead solution architecture here on the Eastern Seaboard in the United States, as well as all of Canada as well. Previously, before OutSystems, I was a full stack developer at IBM for 8 years, working through Angular, JS, SQL database scripts, and you name it.
Nice, nice. João, why don't you go?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'm an OutSystems MVP, but I'm also the head of OutSystems for Entity Data UK&I. So really excited to be here with you guys. I work with OutSystems since 2016, so my journey came to a long way, and now from those simple screens to create apps quickly, now we have AI creating apps for us. So I'm really excited. In terms of my relation with Mentor, started with Morpheus, that probably guys in the community know what is Morpheus, so really excited about it.
Very cool. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of, again, reflecting on the past year, David, what was the highlight for you this year with OutSystems?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a little tough, but I have to say going down to Orlando, Florida, first time at Disney in probably 20, 25 years, and presenting Mentor at Gartner Symposium. Going ahead and having all the C-suite come in and see Mentor live in action. It was the week after one out in Amsterdam, and being able to see the magic come alive and having my first hands-on keyboard was absolutely surreal.
Yeah, it must be amazing to see like all of that hard work come to fruition in a moment like that. So awesome. And João, what was the highlight of your year?
So now that David talked about, we got something in common. So it was my first time at Disneyland in Paris as well. But in terms of my highlight, definitely becoming MVP this year was one of my greatest goal in terms of autism community. And after all my OutSystems effort and everything that I done, I think was the ultimate goal for me. That one of those that was becoming OutSystems MVP, and of course the atmosphere of one was the biggest one I saw it in terms of the entire community from all over the places. Getting around those 2 days was really magic happening on that moment.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it was great to see you there, and I'll have you on the live stream as well.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, I know we're all here to talk about Mentor. It was all of the excitement at one. It's been what everyone's talking about since then. But let's dig in a little bit more into, for those of you who haven't had a chance to explore it too much. David, can you give us an overview of what is Mentor? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so when I think about the evolution of OutSystems and think about AI within OutSystems, it really has been a part of the platform since about 2017. And looking at the natural language processing within OutSystems, AI Mentor Studio guiding you along the way, making sure that your applications work on day 2. I was talking with product management and we're like, how do we rebrand Morpheus? And thinking along, guiding along the way. And I'm like, when I look at OutSystems and being a full stack developer, I was awful at forgetting semicolons. Always broke the application. And I looked at the AI within OutSystems as that peer programmer, looking over my shoulder, guiding me along the way, whether it's natural language processing, whether it's scaffolding within the IDE, all the way through to day 2 operations. And in talking to product marketing, I'm like, I look at Morpheus and now Mentor App Gen as pushing that to the left. It's my peer programmer guiding me along the way. I can go from a user requirements document or prompt, generate that first application, modify the application with natural language processing, continue to embed AI in terms of those applications, and still with code quality, make sure that that application is not only running well today, but also in the future as well.
Yeah, it's kind of just a whole different way about thinking about software development, right? It's almost like you said, like that pair programmer, that digital worker, that buddy on your side. João, you've had a chance to play around and experience Mentor through the early access program. What were your initial impressions of it?
So I would say that was even before the early access program. So my journey started with Morpheus back in 2023 after One Lisbon. I started to test the Figma designs, the prototypes.
Oh, wow.
So coming from that journey, seeing those prototypes, then gaining live in less than a year was like an amazing journey to see everything come together after. So hard work from all the people from OutSystems was really a nice thing to do.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects of Mentor, right? So you're generating applications, you're iterating and adding to existing applications. You have Agent Builder built in to be able to integrate AI with your apps. And then you also have code quality reviews that are AI assisted and AI driven. All of those different aspects of it, João, which do you think are most impactful to the type of work that you do as like a head of OutSystems?
I think, to be honest, all of them, because I'm now head of OutSystems, but before I was a solution architect, I was a tech lead, I was a junior developer. So all that my technical background, I know that I can teach my team and use my team members to use every part of the app. So for me as a head of OutSystems, probably the generate, because I want to show quickly the product working as a POC or to show the technology. In terms of iteration, and I know most is coming on next year, but you can continue doing your daily job with using the AI Mentor. So it's just a tool, like David said, to help you and not to replace you. Basically, I think that is the right message. And in terms of Agent Builder, of course, integrating AI, everyone wants AI, clients, even ourselves wants AI in our lives, even if it's not to help to writing an email. So AI Agent Builder bring that connection, that bridge to integrate quickly AI in our applications. And code quality, as a tech leader, a solutions architect, you must ensure that your client's app and even your internal apps are up to speed and up to code. And you can use the code quality to teach your dev teams to use it and learn.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's not really one aspect of it that's most impactful. It's like all of it being together, and maybe that's kind of what's most important of all, the fact that you do have all of those different aspects of it, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's the key.
Yeah, absolutely. So David, coming back to you, Mentor it's full cycle, right? It impacts across the SDLC, but I think one of the things that catches people's attention most is the app gen part of it, being able to use natural language prompts for app generation. Can you show us what that looks like in Mentor?
Yeah, you bet. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let me know when it is up on stage.
All right,
Look
we
at
can
that.
see it.
That is some magic happening live right now on Decoded. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is our ODC portal that everybody knows and loves. I'm going to go ahead and start creating an application leveraging Mentor App Gen. So I'm going to go ahead, as you can see, with AI, go directly into start creating that application. And as a true developer and getting ready for this session, I was closing tabs, but I still have 4 open right here and everything else. So true developer at heart. Here we can go ahead and see, we can go ahead and create that application from either a text-based prompt. And in terms of going ahead and being a Gartner, I had a deputy CIO type in, I want to build a field hockey application for my daughter's high school team. Super cool. 5 minutes, it built with sample data, completely contextual to what he was going ahead and doing. I do have some sample requirements as well. I do love going ahead and uploading sample requirements documents. I went out to ChatGPT, so thinking of myself as a developer, I've always gotten application requirements given to me by BAs. I was awful at writing them, truly awful at writing them. Great at reading them, sometimes good at implementing them, but not great at writing them. So I went out to ChatGPT and asked for a couple of use cases that I can go ahead and generate application requirements documents. And I see a loan origination, banking applications, agent portals, claim management. Think of the type of use cases you as a developer could accomplish with AppGen within Mentor. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off, leveraging the natural language processing in the back end to go through that requirements document. It's taking a look at the personas, the different data fields, the different workflows that are needed as part of this application. And it's going to go ahead and give me the sample personas, as well as the different data sources that I can go ahead and modify as part of this application. So very first at the beginning, I'm taking a Word document, uploading it into OutSystems Mentor AppGen. It is reading through it, leveraging natural language processing, and it has now given me the different data sources as well as the different roles I can use in terms of that application. Of course, I can modify it right here if I wish to. I can go ahead and say, wait a minute, it's not necessarily a loan officer. Maybe it's a loan origination officer, but I can go ahead and press generate as well and kick off the composition of this application. So now it's going ahead and generating the actual ODC application. I'm thinking the benefits of ODC, the containerization, the microservices that are embedded in terms of that application, and it's generating all of those components directly in ODC. And we're going to see the ability of bringing this application live directly for you. Additionally, though, it has all of those different best practice features that have been incorporated in OutSystems since our very inception in 2001. So thinking of AI Mentor Studio, code quality, how do we ensure we're building good applications? It's taking all of those best practices and looping them directly into the application as well to ensure that we're building the best possible applications to reduce risk as well. Another great thing that I absolutely love about Mentor, and this comes from my own, I'm going to call it the blank page problem or sample data problem, it's generating that sample data. So we went ahead and saw that it's injecting sample data into that application. I come from a context of public sector, but what are the names, the street addresses, the phone numbers, and all that other sample data that could be a part of that application? So that way, when we open up that application and take a look, it will have that data contextually aware. So that way, we as developers understand what that application can look like, and we can put it in the hands of end users and testers that much faster.
Yeah, the sample data is super helpful, I think, also from a testing perspective, right? To be able to immediately just start clicking around and seeing what it looks like. So I think that that's something that I was really excited to see that that's part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to say it takes approximately 4 or so minutes for this application to generate. And in terms of being a Gartner, I was talking to that deputy CIO, and not a good writer. I already admitted I'm not good at writing application requirements documents, not a good writer, period. But thinking of a blank page problem, how do I go ahead and solve? How am I going to write this application? All of a sudden, I have a starting point. I can go ahead and take a look at any of these individual screens. I can customize the data sources right here on the right, add in additional data sources by pressing the plus sign, and leverage natural language processing to modify this application. I can type in directly what I'm looking for if I wish and include it directly as part of that application. And I can see a sample of what these screens could look like as well. I'm going to go ahead and publish and have access to this application in a matter of mere moments to go ahead and take a look at what it could go ahead and look like as an application. As I press publish, it's going ahead and generating the full application, making it live for me to go ahead and access. Traditionally, from thinking of an IDE or ODC Studio, I'm pressing that green one-click publish button. No errors found in this application, and I'm going to have the ability to take a look at that application in the hands of the computer in a matter of moments. So I'm going to go ahead and see it published. It did publish successfully, and I'm going to go ahead and preview that application. And given the fact that this is recorded, but also relatively live, I did go ahead and have a secondary screen just in case, but I'm going to go ahead and log in as Jerry Harris as a loan origination officer, if I press the button correctly. And it's logging into that application. So thinking of ODC architecture, running in containerized ecosystems, it is pulling asynchronous data from the different database, going ahead and scaffolding out the application, and is pulling that data asynchronously as well. I can go ahead and see different loan applications that I can go ahead and add data to. And I can go ahead and modify these different items such as dates, different loan data officers, and roles as well. I can go ahead and log out from a single sign-on perspective and log into other roles as well. So I can go in as a credit analyst and take a look at what a credit analyst would go ahead and have. So I'm going to say, and taking a look at the time, in about 6 minutes or less, I went from a BA created Word requirements document into an application with sample data on loan originations for a loan origination platform, and can now start modifying. But that's not where we stop. We can also go back to that application, come back to the original OutSystems ODC portal, and then continue to modify that application. So I'm going to come back to my portal right here and show you the ability to go ahead and modify that application as well. Got to remember the name of the application. All righty, loan origination. And now I can go ahead and open the app in either app editor. So thinking of, we've now generated the application. Great to take that idea, that prototype, that idea, and put it in the hands of end users. But how do we take it to that next step? We can either open it in ODC Studio. So the same look and feel, the ODC that you love today, you can open it up and modify that application. But you can also go ahead and modify it directly in App Editor, similar to the screen that we were looking at before, where you can now use natural language processing to go ahead and modify that application as well. So now we've gone ahead and up-leveled that development team. We've gone ahead and empowered you as those developers to continue making the modifications on that application if you so wish. We can preview it right here, but then we can also publish it directly from here as well. And then finally, from the ability of a code quality perspective, we have code quality right here as well. We can take a look at the health of our different applications and ensure that the applications are going to continue running as well as tomorrow as they do today as well. So continuing to go ahead and build on that proper footprint of OutSystems, making sure that the applications that run great today will continue to run well in the future. We have the ability to go ahead and take a look at code quality right here across those different applications, the different code patterns, and thinking of myself, if you find an issue in an application, what is the problem? Thinking of a BA, what is the impact to me? What is the size of the splash? When I think of it from a developer perspective, how do I fix it to get that off the report that my developer lead is asking me about? And it will tell me actually how to go ahead and modify and fix these as well, similar to how AI Mentor Studio did in the past.
All right, thank you so much, David, for showing us that. It's so exciting to see all the different things that Mentor can do. And every time I see a new use case or a new example, I'm just like always blown away by all the possibilities. João, you've been able, again, to get hands-on with this. Have you found that there's certain prompts that work well or certain types of apps that work best with Mentor?
Yeah, if we think about it, AI is all about prompts. So the better the prompt, the better the quality is generated. So, and this is the advantage of getting a good relation with the product guy that is building Mentor, is they know which prompts worked or not. So if we follow the prompt, let's say structure, the results will be much better. But like AI is always training. So I think one of the advantages is we talk with the product, oh, I tried to use this prompt, didn't work, and then the system is constantly learning. So I see the evolution for each time that you try a different prompt is getting better and better in each iteration. It's really good to see.
Awesome. And so, yeah, it's almost more like instead of trial and error, it's like training and error, right? So every time you have that new prompt, that new example, it just keeps getting better. So awesome.
Nice. So I'm going to go back to João again. So you've seen, with all your experience at NTT Data, you've seen a huge variety of projects and apps built with OutSystems. What do you think Mentor is going to have the biggest impact on there? Like, is it a specific business or technical problem? Is it a sector? What kind of things are you thinking?
To be fair, I think OutSystems is a bit of not business, is business agnostic. So I think Mentor will be used in each different sectors and business, and because in the end of the day is a technical solution. So we are going to always use that technical solution. I think the biggest impact probably will be two. So do the POCs with the clients, and the clients giving us a prompt or an app or an idea that they want to implement, they see that really quick. I think that will be a big advantage as well. The agent, so we can integrate easily AI. If you have your open Azure, Genesis, or AWS AI components, you just plug in and start using them in your OutSystems apps.
Yeah.
As well, one other thing that I really like on agent is you can search by your own OutSystems database that usually are full of information. So opens a range of possibilities of creating your own agents in a way that was in the past was not possible.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I've been with OutSystems for a few years now, and I think when I see a team member talking about OutSystems to someone for the first time, sometimes the developers get really excited about how fast you can build a prototype. I think we usually call it rapid prototyping. Now we've got faster than rapid, nearly immediate prototyping, which is pretty cool. I'm going to jump to David now. So the discourse around AI and software development could lead some developers to think Mentor is for their business counterparts, citizen developers, that kind of thing, rather than professionals.
Yeah.
Do you see Mentor as a feature and a platform? Do you see it as designed to be used by developers with experience?
I would say yes. And I would actually say it will enable citizen developers, the BAs, to come into OutSystems to build the applications. But then additionally, from a developer, like I was a full stack developer for 8 years, but I hated the data. I loved UI, UX. I could build CSS. Even interviewing people, asked the question, what's the difference between margin and padding? Those are all CSS things that stay in the back of my head. But I hated that normalization in the database. So thinking of professional developers, you're able to build applications faster, but it's also making it fun again. You don't have to worry about those little nuanced details that maybe I need to reach out to somebody else to figure, and then we can go ahead and take that idea and actually see what it looks like. So I think it's not only going to enable the citizen developers, the BAs, and I'm going to call the outside fringes of IT, but also really up-level the entire professional developer community as well.
Nice. That's very cool. So on the subject of how developers will use and respond to Mentor, João, how do you think Mentor will impact the life, like the day-to-day workload life of OutSystems developers?
I think we'll help them on the easiest task, and they can concentrate on the hard tasks that actually need human intervention. Plus, I think, for example, for tech leads, the technical reviews is going to be much faster with the code quality. So, and not only that, you can say to your developer, oh, go check your code quality first before you deliver the task in end. So I think this process of peer reviewing and deliver the task that is ended, I think will be improved. And I think developers is going to adapt both ways, because one of the advantages of Mentor is not only you can generate quickly, but you can continue doing what we do in the past years. So that, I think, the way you use that combination is the way moving forward. Just need some adaptation, basically.
Nice. And to kind of double back on that question I just asked David, how technical do you think someone needs to be able to successfully, I guess, use and maybe deploy using Mentor?
So for me, rapid prototype and POC, I think citizen developer, BAs, business guys can use it. Now, when we go to the enterprise kind of applications, then I think the developers will still reign for a long time, because you need that supervision, you need that enterprise quality that usually it's normal. It's not the work of a BI or citizen development to do it. So
yeah,
I think the different levels is going to enter on this mentor part, and deploying and having their main goals quickly, basically, in the end.
Yeah. Like my colleague Taka, who's a solutions architect, often says, developers want to solve the problems, not spend all day typing semicolons, apparently.
Yes. Tracking down a random typo, in a file somewhere and then updating it. My favorite is when I see a typo that's just now accepted in the code base because nobody wants to change it because they're not sure where else it needs to be changed. And so they've just committed to this is now the typo. And so it's great to see that things like that don't have to exist when you have the best practices of low code just like built right in alongside the AI. So
yeah. All right. So David, you're a very busy guy. You've got a whole other on video event later today. You've been working directly with customers, demoing for the business side, developers to get initial feedback and kind of validate use cases. What types of results have you seen so far?
So everybody's been really excited about being able to take those light bulb moments and put in hands of end users that much faster. So when I think about OutSystems and low code in general, we're changing the paradigm of months to weeks. And now with Mentor, we're changing it to a matter of moments. So really taking those ideas and saying, is this worth pursuing or not? So I almost think of it like a hackathon type idea of A/B testing, blue-green testing. Is this worth pursuing or not? As opposed to taking a team of 100 developers, stick them in a room for a week and hackathon it all together. You can very quickly ideate on top of that and continue driving that forward. So all of a sudden, from a business perspective, there's a lot less risk to try innovative ideas and to see if it's worth pursuing to then continue to expand upon.
Nice. That's really exciting.
Exactly. And the other area that I think is really cool on Mentor is really continuing to refine I'm going to say, agnostic agents within OutSystems. So in talking to some of the C-suite that's out there, one of the questions we get asked is, so if you're using AWS, I'm assuming I need a team of AWS resources. What about when I switch to Azure? What about GCP? And being able to be agnostic and try out different models allows organizations to say, where do I want to spend those different resources without bringing up that entire team to be ready to be subject material experts to then swap and train into an entirely new different technology set. So you can very quickly try out that AWS Bedrock versus OpenAI versus Gemini and really find the ideal prompts in engineering to embed directly into your applications.
And without having to do all the infrastructure setup to interact with all those different models and services, which is, I think that ends up being, well, if AI is mostly about prompting, the other part of it is a lot of the challenge comes from that infrastructure and those integrations for sure. So, yeah, it's been really exciting to see. And I know that, again, the product Mentor has evolved a lot, right? Since Project Morpheus and to where it is now and to where it's headed in the future. João, as an MVP and kind of being able to be involved with Morpheus early on and now Mentor, you've been able to collaborate a lot with the team and give feedback. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what that was like to be able to impact what Mentor is today?
Yeah, so basically you see the evolution of the product. So when David was doing the demo, now he can change the initial databases and the roles and everything. So when I first tried Mentor, that was not possible. So we give that feedback to product and they said, actually makes sense because probably we are producing something that is not what really want 100%. So to close that gap, now we have some intervention even before the last creation of the app. So that for me it's amazing to see that evolution, that we can have more impact. So one of the other suggestions I gave was the prompt was very limited, and as you know, prompt makes your app generation. So increasing the prompt, so those small details that we actually see, I give this feedback and they actually implement it, I think for me is that amazing experience, seeing that they listened to me and they really implemented. So probably my feedback was good, and and get to know that your feedback is going to be listened and sometimes implemented. Of course, not 100% of the times, but yeah, I'm very excited for 2025 to see some of my feedbacks implemented. So we'll see about that. We talk in a year time about that, if it was or not. I will not disclose it now, but yeah, we'll see it.
So it sounds like if you enjoy Mentor, a ton of thanks need to go to João. Reach out to him on LinkedIn to let him know you love it. So thank you both for joining. David, I know you're busy. João, I know you're getting ready for the holiday. I really, really appreciate you both being here today. This was a great session, and maybe we'll have you on again sometime.
You bet. It's a pleasure being here. So thank you.
Yeah, so pleasure being with you again. So hope to see more in 2025.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Here's all.
All right, so Mentor is going to be available very soon, so you can check out exactly what David was showing off, and maybe some of the features that João encouraged the product team to include. You're going to go to outsystems.com/mentor. There is a link there for an early access program if you're interested. But again, Mentor will be available to all ODC customers very soon.
Yes, and again, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube. You're already here. Just hit that button, subscribe, so that you can stay tuned for all of the more decoded episodes and things that we have coming in 2025. We're super excited to be able to keep the stream going and provide a lot more developer-focused technical content and resources for you. So we look forward to seeing you again in the new year. And thank you so much for being here.